Els Rijneker is a speech therapist with a clinic in Amsterdam for people with dyslexia, reading and writing problems.
Vamos a escuchar una charla de Els. Els Rijneker nació en 1954 y trabaja en terapia, en una clínica de terapias del habla, para trastornos del habla, en Ámsterdam, para personas con dislexia que tienen problemas de lectura y de escritura.
She has been a member of the TS since 1998, editor of the Dutch TS magazine Theosofia since 2000, and editor-in-chief since 2004.
Es miembro de la Sociedad Teosófica desde 1998 y es la editora de la revista holandesa que se llama Teosofía o Theosofia desde el año 2000 y además es la editora de la misma revista desde 2004, la jefe de redacción.
She is a member of the executive committees of the Council of the International Theosophical Center in Naarden, of the European Federation of National Societies, the EFTS, and she is also an additional member of the General Council of the TS in Adyar.
Es miembro del Comité Ejecutivo del Consejo de la Sociedad Teosófica Internacional en Naarden y además es miembro de la Federación Europea de la Sociedad Teosófica y además es miembro del Consejo General de la Sociedad Teosófica de Adyar.
She was a member of the Dutch National Board from 2002 till 2015, and she was the General Secretary of the Dutch section from 2009 till 2015.
Fue miembro del Consejo Ejecutivo Nacional de Holanda desde 2002 hasta 2015 y además fue la Secretaria General de la sección holandesa desde 2009 hasta 2015.
And lastly, she has given talks on several occasions and visited theosophical meetings in Adyar, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, United Kingdom, Portugal and Spain.
Ha dado charlas en diferentes ocasiones y ha visitado y ha participado en encuentros teosóficos en Adyar, Finlandia, Francia, Alemania, Grecia, Irlanda, el Reino Unido, Portugal y España.
So we now give you Els Rijneker.
Así que con todos ustedes,
Hello, friends. Buenos dias. Dear Mr. President, dear General Secretary of Spain, dear Chairman of the Federation, dear friends here and elsewhere. My congratulations to the Spanish section for choosing this theme for the 38th European Congress. It offers many opportunities to reflect upon. We could, of course, choose to do it here and now, this pondering, in complete silence. As a matter of fact, that would be an excellent idea. So many spiritually inclined people meditating together here in this auditorium. What a beautiful energy this would create. But that, of course, is not something you are expecting in a symposium like this, here and now. So here are some of my brief reflections on the subject. And some quotes that I'm mentioning have already been mentioned before, but you'll have them once again. Let us look at the title of the Congress, the exact wording of it, and let us try to find some common definitions. This symposium talk will cover what is Theosophy, what is meant with away, what is consciousness and what is universal consciousness, and how to reach this universal consciousness. What is Theosophy? Yes, friends. How can we explain in just a few words to the man in the street in a short time, for instance, standing in an elevator, what is Theosophy? The fact that everyone and everything is interconnected? Love and brotherhood? The common goal of human perfection in all religions? Comparative studies, perennial wisdom, all that is true. We can, of course, stay on the safe and easy side by using the descriptions of page 4 of each Theosophist. Theosophy is the body of truth which forms the basis of all religions and which cannot be claimed as the exclusive possession of any. It offers a philosophy which renders life intelligible and which demonstrates the justice and love which guides its evolution. It puts death in its rightful place as a recurrent incident in an endless life, opening the gateway to a fuller and more radiant existence. As far as I understand, the last few words, opening the gateway to a fuller and more radiant existence, are pointing at the ultimate potential of us, human beings, which is developing our higher mental faculties, the powers latent in man. What is meant with away? There does not seem to exist one specific method or way to reach this radiant existence. There are many ways leading to Rome, or in this case, to Barcelona. We, as human beings, can only start from the point where we are, here and now. As we all have different ages, cultural backgrounds, educations, families, and personal sensitivities, the way inevitably will be different for all of us. So the term away is correct, and this is a blessing. Otherwise, life would become so uniform and boring. Here are 3 examples of different ways or roads. 1. H.P. Blavatsky, one of the founders of the Theosophical Society, wrote something about the way and the difficulties we will encounter on the road that we can choose to follow in order to reach our higher faculties. I will now give a quote which has already been mentioned before, but we'll look at it just the same. It's the text of HPB, of course. There is a road, steep and thorny, beset with perils of every kind, but yet a road. And it leads to the very heart of the universe. I can tell you how to find those who will show you the secret gateway that opens inward only and closes fast behind the neophyte forevermore. There is no danger that dauntless courage cannot conquer. There is no trial that spotless purity cannot pass through. There is no difficulty that strong intellect cannot surmount. For those who win onward, there is a reward past all telling, the power to bless and save humanity. For those who fail, there are other lives in which success may come. What is meant with a way? Second, way. One of the basic texts of Hinduism, the Bhagavad Gita, mentions several ways for growth, describing the forms of yoga, such as karma yoga, the way of good actions, jnana yoga, the way of wisdom, bhakti yoga, the way of devotion, and raya yoga. Raya yoga describes the whole teaching of yoga, combining the renunciation of the fruits of action with the performance of duty, in accordance with the predominance of the three qualities, attributes, or gunas. This Raya Yoga is said to be the only means of securing ultimate happiness. Road number 3. For people so advanced as Jiddu Krishnamurti, having reached the very high levels of spirituality, there might be the possibility of a direct contact with the higher faculties. For those people, his words are also true. Truth is a pathless land. What is consciousness and what is meant with universal consciousness? The term consciousness comes from con and skio and could mean with and discern, know. According to the 7th edition of the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, consciousness is first the state of being able to use the senses and mental powers to understand what is happening. Second, the state of being aware. In order to dive into an explanation of the different forms of consciousness, it is necessary first to talk about the kingdoms in nature. Theosophy asserts that life is everywhere and in everything. There is no dead matter, because each atom has a living, vibrant nucleus. This is the vibrant hidden life. the miracle of life in its very essence. This life can be called consciousness. The ways of expressing, however, are limited to the faculties of the specific kingdoms of nature where this consciousness is inhabited. Minerals and stones are motionless, but are said to have this very pure level of spirituality. Kim Ju talked about it. Plants can grow, blossom, have seeds, and spread themselves. Animals have a nervous system and can walk and think instinctively. The human kingdom, however, has the potential of not only be driven by instincts and of thinking of concrete matters, but can also reflect on abstract matters such as where do we come from, on art and on beauty. A human being has the potential to reach the mystical levels of unification with spirit. Human consciousness can be divided in several planes: the physical, the emotional, the lower mental, the higher mental, the transcendental or spiritual planes, and the plane of spirit itself. This figure comes from the process of self-transformation by Vicente Hao Chin Jr. It shows the lower triangle of the personality, or outer self, and the higher triangle of the individuality, or inner self. The line between this lower and higher triangle, quite strikingly an essential opportunity for us in the human stage, is right in the middle of the mental faculties, between the lower and higher mind. In the Netherlands, in the Dutch language, the word for human being is mens, which is the Latin word for mind. Isn't it ironic that we are using the word mens so often, but most of the time are behaving impulsively without real thinking? The great challenge, therefore, is that we need to discern whether we are influenced by the personal planes of desire of our body, emotions and thoughts, or by the impersonal levels of the inner self. At this high level of the inner self, the lower personality is no longer in charge, as we are reaching towards universal levels here. Note, Atma or spirit is said not to belong to the human constitution. It surpasses all personal levels. Here we are talking about the consciousness of the universe, the universal consciousness, and it is to this level that humankind is bound to transcend. The key word for us, simple humans, is viveka, discernment of the motives that are driving us. We need to reflect upon the real motives behind our actions. Are they egoistic, for the welfare of my body, my family, my country? Or are they of an altruistic nature, for the welfare of everyone? people, animals, nature, the cosmos, whether this is at my personal disadvantage or not. When we can really be aware of our physical and emotional feelings and thoughts in situations, having clear values of what is good and true, then we can consciously take decisions about our actions, not just going with the flow of everyday life. Goodness, what a freedom of growth we human beings potentially have in most of our societies, not everywhere in the world, in most of our societies and in our life. How to reach this universal consciousness? As human beings and as Theosophists, we are searching for that which is beyond all things that are manifested. Satyam nasti paro dharma, or no religion higher than truth. And we will come to understand step by step, little by little. We will need many lives to grow and learn, and will in the end all reach the stage of transcendence together as mankind on the levels that are not personal. Which means not as the human beings we are now. This might be one of the reasons why Mabel Collins says, "You will enter the light, but you will never touch the flame." At those levels, there is no me, there is no you. How to reach this universal consciousness? After our studies and discussions, the main thing to do is to live what we have understood. If we reflect upon our daily actions earnestly, we can discern whether we are acting from personal motives or not. And we can adjust our way of living time after time. We are given the opportunities to learn from our mistakes and correct the injustice we have done to our brothers. So, let us be awake and aware. Let us share, live happily. Let us be warm and loving, like the brilliant sun that shines for everyone. Let us just do the very best we can. That's all. Being united on the universal levels, any step of anyone can make the difference and contribute to the uplifting, the transcendence of the whole of mankind. In the midst of our trials and tribulations, it is friendship, brotherhood, cooperation, and universal love that should be our motto. As Rada Bernier, our former international president, pointed out, there is no other way to go. How to reach this universal consciousness? In the Golden Stairs, H.P. Blavatsky gave us clear and specific instructions of how to live what we have understood, of how to reach out to our brothers. She showed a way towards universal consciousness. Let us conclude with her powerful words. a clean life, an open mind, a pure heart, an eager intellect, an unveiled spiritual perception, a brotherliness for one's co-disciple, a readiness to give and receive advice and instruction, a loyal sense of duty to the teacher, a willing obedience to the behests of truth, once we have placed our confidence in and believe that teacher to be in possession of it, a courageous endurance of personal injustice, a brave declaration of principles, a valiant defense of those who are unjustly attacked, with a constant eye to the ideal of human progression and perfection, which the secret science depicts. These are the golden stairs, up the steps of which the learner may climb to the temple of divine wisdom. Friends, I salute the highest in each and every one of yours. Shanti.
Buenos días. I am from Portugal, a member of the Portuguese Theosophical Society in Lisbon, and I was asked to introduce to you Ana Maria Coelho de Sousa, which is a long-standing member of Theosophical Society, I believe since the early 80s, and she has been a devoted student of Theosophy. And besides a lady of great knowledge, she has a wonderful and warm personality. And we, as Portuguese, are very honored to have her as our president of the Portuguese Society. So you have now Ana Maria Coelho de Sousa.
Thank you. Queridos amigos, ella es miembro de la sección portuguesa y ha presentado a la próxima ponente, que es Ana María Coelho de Sousa. Ana María es miembro de la Sociedad Teosófica desde hace muchísimos años y trabaja muy duro para la sección. Se siente muy honrada de poder presentar a Ana María, que es una persona todo corazón y todo bondad.
see, there is not much to say about me. Yeah. Thank you for the invitation. It is a great joy and a privilege and an honor to be here with you. Mine is a very short presentation, but it was written with much love, and it comes from the depth of my heart. You see, for Theosophy is the beacon of my life. So, the title is The Living Power of Theosophy. Are we happy human beings? Is there any among us who is content, who is happy enough to cease seeking, who has attained all that he or she wished for from life? Most of us who live in affluent countries are life's fortunate. We have all or most of all our faculties and limbs intact. We are not in a desperate state of ill health. We are not starved of our next meal. We do not have to wonder where to look for shelter every night. We do not have to wear garments which carry more holes than clothes. We are not alone. We have a family, friends. Life is good to us. Are we happy? No, no, no. We keep on seeking, ever seeking. What? Happiness, fulfillment, inner peace. We have believed that this will spring from comforts. The desires of human beings, as well as the seeking, never end. Food, clothing, shelter, education, family, friends, entertainment, acquisition of objects, achievement, beauty, glory, fame, power, riches. Of what use is this endless seeking that can never give us lasting joy, that has never and can never give anyone a lasting inner peace? So, can we stop and look at the quality of our lives? Is there a single thing about which we can say, in this I am content, I ask for nothing more, and is ever to me a source of joy? We may even say so in our moments of rare happiness. But why do we want to be happy? Because we want to be happy, that's all. Happiness is really its own end. Every other pursuit has a purpose beyond itself, and that purpose is to attain happiness. Every living being wants to be happy always, to achieve unbroken joy. Joy is dynamic, but must also be peace. True happiness must be complete, must be full. Then, one may ask if there is something beyond all this, something of lasting significance, something that brings true joy and quiet and marvelous meaning, something that makes every moment of life fresh and beautiful. And the answer is yes. Sages say that happiness is our nature, and this is the reason why we seek it, and that self-awareness is the paramount duty, the highest goal, for it is the basis of all actions and their fruits. It is the source of all energy and joy. Thus, one is looking for happiness in the wrong places, for every place outside of oneself is wrong. Happiness does not lie without. Peace does not lie without. Fullness does not lie without. They are the very self. We would, all of us, certainly like to attain self-knowledge. Yet, how eagerly do we wish for it. We do know that it is a worthy goal. For the most part of us, we are not so intense in our longing. We wish for it, as we wish for many things, like a lovely home, a dream holiday, and so forth. This is not something that needs to be forced, but will come naturally when we are truly keen, and this applies to the pursuit of self-awareness as well. This then is the groundwork, the preparation for a steady treading of the path. When we have come to the conviction that all else is trivial, that it cannot bring us joy, that happiness lies only within, and we must seek it at any cost, then the way is not long. These moments in our lives, these insights of conviction, may come and go and come again. When they come, let us hold on to them and allow them to grow on us. Ramana Maharshi speaks of the experience of natural happiness. Natural because of its universality. Natural because it is not dependent on any circumstances, any relationships. Therefore, it is not mental. Natural also because it is something which is present sometimes and absent other times. It is ever one zone and cannot be given or taken away. Unhappiness or negativity is an illness of our planet. People think that they depend on what happens to be happy. That is, they are dependent on the form, on the content. One should accept the present moment, the now, and discover the deepest perfection of form and which has not been touched by time. Can anyone tell where the now begins and where it ends? There is no time other than now. Past or future are only mental concepts. Self-knowledge can only be here and now. Self-knowledge can never come tomorrow or the day after. It cannot be attained in some distant place at some future time. It implies to be fully aware of our feelings, of our thoughts, with no anxiety, with no pressure. Every moment should have a full awareness of what is happening inside and around us. As said before, one should depend on nobody, on nothing, on no experience, on no memory. To depend on the past prevents the fullness of the present. The present moment is where the life's play takes place. To be one with life is to be one with the now. Life and myself are one. I do not have a life. I am the life. I am the conscience who became conscious of itself. To be ever conscious of the now is to be self-aware. To know ourselves means to be rooted in the being instead of losing ourselves in our mind. To be one with life is to feel the beauty of surrender, which means to accept inwardly what exists. When we surrender inwardly, a new dimension of consciousness opens up to us. So one must surrender, but very few of us are prepared to surrender, to give up our ego world, our pet ideas, our special welfare schemes. So, if one surrenders to the higher, hidden, and living power of Theosophy and accepts its laws, which are nature's laws, all unhappiness, all burdens should be wiped out. Silent, joyous acceptance and pure happiness will be there. There will always be the knowledge that an infinite bliss is available to us in every moment, if only we care to pay attention, if only we can cease to run and be still, if only we can cease to strive and simply be. For each one of us, there is hope. For each one of us, there is hope. Thank you. Thank you.